Hi, we're here with Justin McLeod, the CEO of Hinge, a very popular dating app, and I understand you guys just had a revamp?
Yeah, we did. We just took it from what was kind of becoming a more casual service into being a service for people who are actually interested in finding long-term relationships.
That's great. All right. So I've used your app for several years. It's quite interesting. So I found at least dating apps in New York have completely taken over and become a huge part of our culture.
hmm
So how has that changed your business and ultimately dating in general?
Yeah, well, I think it's certainly the way that these services are designed affects us because so many people use them. And I think that the way that the swipe is designed and the way that these apps are essentially oriented really sort of focuses people on always the next match and going to the next person. And it's never really about connecting with the people on the service and actually deepening your relationship with them and getting offline onto a date. So we try to create a very different way of interacting that sort of serve that market of people who actually want to move offline and find a relationship.
So have you seen, I know Hinge is extremely popular in New York, but have you seen it take off outside of large cities or metropolitan areas?
Yeah, definitely. We started in DC and then in New York, and then we started expanding to other areas. We were in about 34 cities with the last version of Hinge in the US, but with this version, we're national, so we're in all cities in the US.
All right. So I understand the original Hinge used Facebook integration and like several degrees of Facebook separation. Like I know you wouldn't get matched with your Facebook friends per se,
Right,
but
that's right. Purposefully, we do not match you with your Facebook friends, but people who are in your extended social network.
so would you ever move off of Facebook? Like I understand Rhea uses Instagram and
hmm
League uses LinkedIn. Would you eventually move off of Facebook, or are you so connected to it that?
We're not. I mean, being using your sort of social context and introducing you to people in your social network, we found is really, really powerful, and we find that Facebook is sort of the best representation of your social network. But there are other options that are available to us, and I think it just depends upon the popularity of Facebook going forward. But for now, we find that very few people are not able to use Hinge because of the Facebook integration, and it also that Facebook integration really is kind of like a digital passport. It's a validation of identity, knowing that you have a lot of friends on Facebook, and essentially tells us who you are and where you fit in the social graph.
Sure, that does make sense.
Yeah.
So using free dating apps is so commonplace, like, at
hmm
least in New York, that it's more unusual to find someone who hasn't used one.
Yeah.
Do you think there's going to be a stigma associated with using a paid dating app?
I think there certainly has been in the past, but I think that's changing. I think there was just a general stigma with online dating in the past, and now creating the free services, and especially the one-click sign-on, which I think was even a more important innovation to make it more accessible to people, because you no longer had to fill out a long profile or put a lot of effort into it. It's really easy. You just one click and you're in and you're browsing people. So we're trying to keep that similar kind of lightweight feel, but really make it, I would say, again, more oriented towards people who want relationships. And part of that is a membership fee, which signals that everyone is sort of here and invested in the experience and is not getting what they need from the hookup apps and swiping apps that are out there.
I understand it's going to be $7 a month after the 3 months trial.
That's right. So right now we're giving users 3 months trial because we just started up and we're a brand new app. So we want to invite a lot of our old users on to come and try this new platform, and new people to come on and try the new platform. But after that's up, it will be a $7 a month paid membership fee experience.
All right. So your new product is all about long-term relationships versus just hooking up. And do you see a contradiction to that? Because the whole, at least I feel like the whole idea of like dating apps is you can immediately find someone newer, possibly better. Do you see your new people not going back to that old ways?
I do think that the availability of these apps have sort of started to shift culture a little bit. But I do think that there is a human need for long-term sustained connection, and I think that the pendulum's starting to swing the other way. I think a lot of people are stopping using, or just there's increasing dissatisfaction with the current sort of swiping app culture and paradigm, and I think this is a really good sort of medium ground for people who are, like I said, looking for connection. But I think people have to arrive at that themselves. I think that for younger people, sort of fun swiping app games, hookups, or whatever will become, will stay relevant. But as people get into their late 20s and 30s, I think that a service like Hinge is really needed.
So you're saying monogamy's not dead?
I don't think monogamy is dead. No.
All right, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. This has been Sarah from the street.